I mean, there's just no other way of getting around. Gavin, these were bad kids. Their mother and father were getting a divorce. There was lots of dysfunction in the Arvizio family. Janet herself was a wacko, and from what I saw of Janet's mother was a wacko. I mean, really whacked in the head, certifiably unstable and in need of serious help. And the reason I say that is not only Janet's testimony and her mother's testimony, but when they entered the courtroom, they dragged their hand along the rail that the jury had their feet up against and looked them in the eyes as they walked by. Both Janet and Janet's mother did it as if somebody had scripted a very bad Hollywood B-rated movie and told them, this is how you do it. It was like they were acting and trying to reach out to the jury. And I looked at that and I said, how weird. Janet did it one week, and a week or 2 weeks later, her mother did exactly the same thing. And I sat there behind Katherine Jackson watching this, and these people are just weird. This is a family of grifters. They were trying to blackmail Michael, just as Dr. Chandler, who later committed suicide after Michael was dead, or reported dead. Dr. Chandler committed suicide, and I think that says volumes, because right before Dr. Chandler committed suicide, apparently he received one of the few and only calls he ever got from Jordy after years and years of no contact. And whatever Jordy said to his dad, that was it, and his dad committed suicide. And nobody's really talked about that much. It's all, kind of sad, kind of unnecessary. But I look at this trial in 2005 is the beginning of the death of Michael. They wanted Michael down. I think, I talked to Majestic, the Magnificent, about this before he came to do our June 25th event, of which I've only got part of it up on the internet. I'm still got the second, third and a half, 2.5 hours yet to edit. I've just been real busy, but I talked to Majestic, and he thinks like I do, and I've seen some video clips. Michael was getting political. Michael was doing the very thing Catherine had raised him as a Jehovah's Witness not to do. Don't get involved in the politics of this world. That's a mantra from the Jehovah's Witness. That's what they believe. Bring in God's kingdom. Don't get involved. But I think Michael saw what was happening with these anti-personnel mines he was giving to these children's hospitals in Africa and all over the world. And I think he had left the Jehovah's Witnesses. I think there's evidence that makes it clear they either kicked him out or he had left. But Michael was still a very deeply spiritual person, and he had broadened his spirituality much wider to embrace all religions that are peaceful and going in a peaceful direction. And he embraced that, and he saw the warmongers for what they were. And I think the warmongers were out to take Michael and Princess Diane out of the loop before they could have any major influence. And everything I've seen in research sends me in that direction. Plus some things that happened here in the county that I'm saving for the documentary that I'm not going to talk about just now. But we're making progress. We just need to turn some of those 7,000 people that go to the website into 7,000 donators. If they give $10 or $20, that's what's going to get it done. Hollywood has no interest in seeing this trial precisely portrayed exactly the way it was, with crazy Diane Delusional, who's over in Europe and supposedly trying to get more contracts to badmouth Michael, with this crazy Congressman Pete King in Long Island, who's standing up in a video. I'm going to answer him. I just haven't got around to the video. I'm going to make a response to the crazy video of this congressman from Long Island. He says, of course we all know Michael's a pedophile, and I'm tired of people saying that he's not. And I have one question for you, Congressman Pete King. Number one, how many days did you spend at the trial watching what was really going on? And number two, which I already know the answer, it's 0. And number two, did you ever read the court record? It's a long, long record, and I'm certain you never took time to read any of it. So how the hell do you, Pete King, come across slandering the greatest entertainer probably of the last 30 years, who's already been concluded by a jury of fact that he's completely innocent? How do you come up with making ridiculous statements? It's scary. Adina, it's scary. How many people are listening right now? How many people are out there? We lost a couple. Yeah, 57. It's scary, people. You 57 that are paying attention. It's scary to think that people like Pete King actually get elected to Congress. And I'm not picking on him because he's white or because he's a Republican, because there are black nutcases in Congress too. It ain't a matter of color of skin. It's people that shoot their mouth off about something they know absolutely nothing about, and just shoot their mouth off based on prejudice. And when I see Pete King do this, and I see Diane Delusional still trying, she can't get on TV, I guess, here in the States anymore, but she's doing it overseas. And we've got to do this biopic before they start to gain momentum, because the jury, frankly, is done. They've done their job. The jury's going on with their life. They're not going to go on the stump and campaign for their jury verdict. They did their job. They got paid their $5 a day to show up. None of them wrote any books. Nobody made any money from the jury. The eldest lady was going to have a book ghostwritten for her if there was a guilty verdict, but that didn't work out. We've got to do the biopic, and I'm asking you people, contact one of these advisors, Debbie Looney in the state of Michigan, Anna O'Connor. They all have, you go to the foundation website and it'll give you an email address where you can contact them. If you got any questions that I didn't answer, go to these people, because I'm going to get, once we get to the point of production, where I'm going to get really too busy, and that's why I'm having separate chats with the advisors. And if any of you got good ideas, sign up, take out an application to be an advisor in your state. We'll probably approve it. If you really care about Michael, don't just, this gets me, Dina. All these people saying, oh, I love Michael, and they have these YouTube names. I love Michael forever, or I love Michael the most. And then they don't donate a penny. But they'll go buy $20 worth of music, $50 worth of Michael's music, put out by the same people that wanted Michael dead. And you enrich them, but you won't spend $20, $50, or you'll ask me some squirrely question. I don't mind legitimate questions, but I get a little irritated. I get the same squirrely questions. Well, when are you going to start? Well, it'll start when you have the money to actually see it through to the end. If you don't have the money to do the production, you don't start the production. You start when you've got the money you got to make it happen. You don't build half a car and then try to sell half a car. You build a whole car. Then you have to buy the airtime. So one of the squirrely questions I've gotten is, well, you want 4 million people. Yeah, I'd like to have 10 million, but realistically speaking, I know that generally you take any group for any reason. If there's 43 million Michael Jackson fans around the world, the chances are there's only 10% of them will actually put their money where they say their heart is and spend 20, 40, 50, 100 euros to get this documentary done. You got to remember who we're up against. Virtually the entire media was against Michael. All the Hollywood type, all the national networks, they all wanted the guilty verdict because there was money in that for them. But in the process of what the media did, Dina, I think Dina understands this, but maybe some of your other listeners don't understand, the media took a biased position, and the biopic documentary will show that. So why would anybody in Hollywood connected to the networks and they're all connected. The Hollywood talk people, Bill O'Reilly, Nancy Disgrace, Real TV, and all those idiots, they have a built-in bias to make it look like Michael got away with something. Why would they finance me getting the truth out? They wouldn't. So the only people that are going to finance it are we that know the truth. I know the truth because I was at the trial every day, virtually every day. And even when I wasn't in the trial, on those days I was excluded, I was outside the trial interviewing people that had been inside the trial. So I knew what was going on. I think there was only 1 or 2 days I didn't go down there at all. Maybe 1 or 2 days out of 5 months. I believe so firmly, and Dina knows this, but maybe some of these 50 people listening don't know this. I believe so firmly. I brought Ernest Valentino over from Germany. It cost me about $5,000 out of my pocket to cheer up the fans. And he put on a great show here in Santa Maria. And you put in Ernest Valentino in Santa Maria, my name on YouTube, and you'll pull up that clip. And that place was set for 500 fans that could have filled the Vets Hall. Only a few dozen showed up because the fans got the wrong impression that I was trying to make money off of Michael's pain. But I was celebrating Michael's victory before it happened. And the next day, the jury proved me right. And those few dozen that showed up, they were damn happy. They got the jury verdict from me the day before the jury gave it. And it was unfortunate that it only takes a few poisoned apples to poison the apple pie. You know, it just takes a few. It doesn't take the majority. But we will get this biopic done if we stay united. Failure is not an option. Failure is not an option if we stay united. Any questions?
Yes, William. Question is, what is the financial target for the documentary, and how far from the goal are we now?
Well, we're a long way. We need $1 million in the till before the board of directors authorize us to open up a production office, hire personnel. We need $1 million. Right now, the last time I looked, we had paid off our bills from the June 25th Hollywood event. All those bills have been paid, and I think we had $3,500 or $3,800 in the bank account after all our bills had been paid. And we had some costs that we didn't pay right away, but they've all been paid. So we're at about $3,500. I think we've brought in a total of about $6,000. I don't have the first bank statement. For some reason, they didn't send us the first bank statement. We should be getting the second one in the next few days. But I believe it'll show that we've got between $3,000 and $4,000 after all those bills are paid. When we get to $10,000 in the account, we will open up a phone line directly to the foundation and probably have someone on retainer to take phone calls. If we get to 50,000 here within a month, we will probably have someone working. There's things you can do if we can hire someone even part-time, use our phone to help raise the money. But the website is the most efficient way we can raise money. You don't even have to be a Michael Jackson fan. I don't care if you're not a Michael Jackson fan. If you're one of the people up in Oregon that saw what was done to Wilbur Gaston, how they stole his child, how he's found not guilty, and they still didn't give his child back to him, even after he was exonerated of any wrongdoing by a jury of mostly women. If you're up in Oregon and you're mad about Gaston's case, we might do a biopic, but we got to do Michael's first. So I don't care. Donate $50, $100 if you're in Oregon. Or if you're mad about the murder in the jail by the jailers of Brian Armstrong in the Valley Street Jail in New Hampshire. And you know I'm the only person that's put that on the internet and investigated that. Give me $100. in Brian Armstrong's name.